We've got our 1-minute warm-up, getting ready for art class today for our colorful giraffes. So gather your supplies and we'll start right at 1, okay? Does that look fun? Which color would you paint it? All purple? All blue? You make a blue giraffe. Yeah. Okay, this is a good one. Let me know when we have to start. You need watercolor paper, watercolors, crayons, pencils. Oh, it's 1 o'clock. Welcome to art class today. Happy Tuesday. It is a gloomy, rainy day outside for us here in Western Kentucky. I don't know what it's like where you are. Hopefully your sun is shining, but no matter what, in art class, we've got a rainbow of colors today. So sometimes I like to base my classes on techniques or artists or a period in history. And today is not any different. It's just the way we're approaching our artist is different. Our artist today is actually a working artist now. She is not someone that exhibits in museums. She's an artist that creates her work for commercial purposes. So for licensing and printing and things like that. So I thought it was kind of fun to look at an artist that's working now. She's young. Her name, and I hope I say this correctly, she's Hungarian. Her name is Anna Brigitta Kovacs. She's Hungarian, so you might see her name listed Kovacs Anna Brigitta. And she loves to do really colorful images, happy ones, bright and cheery. She does animals, she does people, florals, lots of fun. And these are just contemporary. She's working today. And it's kind of neat to explore other levels of art. So I had a request for a giraffe last week, and I was already thinking this artist. So I thought we might look at her today and just explore some fun with color. We're going to draw out the giraffe shape, and we're going to do that on our watercolor paper in pencil. Now, the interesting thing is we normally talk about breaking the subject into shapes. We'll do that for the face, but you actually get to create the shapes on here. So it's fun because the shapes actually are our design today. So get your water ready, some brushes. You're going to need a variety of colored crayons, whatever you might have. Crayons are specific to this technique because we're using watercolor, and crayons are made of wax. Well, anything that's waxy resists water. So these will act as what we call in art a resist, which just means it's going to not accept the medium you're putting on top of it. And our medium is watercolor. And you'll need a pencil. We're going to sketch right onto our paper in pencil. Then we're going to go over it with some crayon and get into our fun watercolor. This is one, if you have younger ones, I did put a printable on that would look like this. You can print it out. This is a little bit larger. I print everything bigger so you can see it easier on screen. But you would have that, and they are welcome to color and play. The idea of the resist is also a concept that people use in what they call process play. So when kids are younger and they're trying to find out what happens, understand that, or finding out about the resist is fantastic. So do we have any questions, Talia? Talia says we have some questions. You can use oil pastel instead of crayons. That will work as a resist as well. So I do love oil pastels. I try to only put those maybe in the classes we would do that we might have a kit or you have supplies purchased, because not a lot of people have oil pastels at their house. I have a lot of things at my house that probably a lot of people don't have. All kinds of pastels are some of them. So gather your pencil. And we're going to draw, this is going to be my paper shape. We're going to put our paper, we have another question from Talia.
Water pastels, and where's the printable located again?
The printable is located on, she asked where the printable is located, and the printable is located on Facebook. If you look, I believe I posted it Sunday. So just look, you can print it out. You can even watch this video, and remember that we post them to Facebook afterwards, and we also post them to YouTube at Kisa Houseman. Sometimes it takes me a few days to put them on YouTube, so don't worry if it doesn't show up right away. But you can print those out, but also sometimes when younger hands are learning to draw, or inexperienced hands, you can even do the way I say to draw it. You can do it on top of the printables, and that might help you as well. It's really, I'm just trying to put out as many guides that could help you understand the processes that we're learning today. And on that note, I'm going to be drawing in permanent marker because you can see it on screen. Normally I would sketch in a pencil, so sketch away in your pencil. Don't worry about erasing your lines. We're going to be putting all sorts of stuff on there. So let's start exploring our first shapes of our head. Is this showing up okay on screen, Kate? So we're going to put basically a big circle for this head right here. It's kind of acting funny on me. There we go. Now it'll be flat. So we're going to put a circle right here towards the upper part of your paper. So I'm going to put that on there. We're finding that head shape right there. We always start out with finding our shapes when we're building a subject. So we also talked about grid drawing, which is another way to find your shapes, on Friday. If you missed that lesson, that's a great one. So we're going to look here, and we're going to notice for details within our circle. And we're going to notice that that nose right here, might help if I come right here. We've got right there, this nose kind of makes a circle within a circle. So let's draw that and find that. So we're going to kind of highlight where that nose is down here. See what's happening? You're kind of making that. So we're putting that circle down within that one right there. So we've got our circle at the top. We've got our portrait mode for our paper. We found another circle. And then we're going to start shaping our subjects, because it's pretty simple. We don't have too much detail in there. Even though it looks really busy, if you start to break down those shapes, it's really this nose. We've got our eyes, mouth. So let's find all that. Let's shape this head out of our circle. If you notice right here, that would be the top of the head, this part right here that I'm going to darken in. And then it cuts off right there. So our head's going to drop in and give us a little bump and come down to that circle. So let me show you what I mean. Comes down, we got a little bump for our eye, and then we come down to a circle, to the nose circle right here. So you see how we started finding that area on our paper for there, and then breaking it down. So don't worry, Tate is here. He's sitting. He said, "Can I just paint today?" So you may have a kid like that too. If so, print out your printable. So he's going to join us for painting. So we've got this side. We did this kind of bumpy. We're putting in that eye bump right there. We're coming down there. So let's get this other side of the head. It stays pretty much in the circle, but comes in a little bit. So we're going to bring that in right there. You see how I just brought it in just a little bit? We're using that circle as our guide for finding that shape of that face. Okay? So we've got this, and we've got that. Okie doke. Then let's go ahead and find the bottom where that circle is for the mouth and comes in right there. So we're going to come up. It's as though we've got those two. Let's come up. Let's jog up a little bit. See how I'm finding that shape within that circle right there. We've almost got the giraffe head. So, okie doke. How y'all doing? The nice thing about a giraffe is really the head is all up here. And then it's pretty simple straight lines once we get into here. And then we've got lots of fun of all our shapes going on. So just to review, we've got our circle that we did to find where our head is. We found the circle for the nose, and now we're just finding those contour lines, that outline. We're finding those shapes within where we housed. So we found the bump with the eye over here. We came down here on this side of the head. Then we came along. We're finding this shape right here. So let's find the nose part now with the little mouth. So we know that's coming in here. It bumps in a little bit, and that mouth comes around about, a little bit below the middle of the circle. See how we came right there? Kind of dividing that in. So it's that bottom circle where we're finding the nose. And then we're going to give it the little black nostrils right here. So looks like that has a nostril about there. And then the other nostril's about up here. So we've got those two right in there. So by now you should have a smiley mouth, kind of a happy giraffe mouth. We've got the bottom. I'm going to bring that chin out a little bit. We've got that bottom right there. We've got how the head comes in. We've got the nostril. It looks like there's a little detail right here I like. Let's put that in. It's almost it looks like a little smiley face on the nose, doesn't it? We've got the two little eyes right there. That should help you find where that is. Fun little shapes in there. Okay, and let's find those eyes. So we're going to come up in our circle. It's about halfway in our circle. So look, it's kind of right above there. So we've got an eye, and I like that this giraffe its eyes are shut. So maybe it's looking down, which I guess a giraffe would look down all the time. I'm short. I have to look up most of the time. But, and then let's come over here and drop that eye in there. So a little bit of an eyelid. And Talia, let me know if there are any questions. I like these little eyelashes. I guess, do giraffes have big eyelashes? They do. Oh, Talia's informed me they do have big eyelashes. Oh, yes, I knew they had a very long, she informed me they have a very long purple tongue. I have seen the giraffes at the zoo. They have a very long tongue. Very long tongue. We're going to keep the tongue inside the mouth today. Okay, we've got the head. Let's add these fun little horns on the top. And there, remember where we started to figure out where we were bringing our shape in on the circle? It's about the width right there. I kind of have it right here so you can see. So we're just going to put two little horns up like that. Let's give ourselves another little horn right there. It looks like they're a little fuzzy at the top, so I'm going to give it a little wisp. But look at that. See how I hope your head is coming together like that. And some of you may be past the point you don't need to put that circle there. So feel free to get in and just start drawing. But I always approach it with somebody might be watching for the first time and they haven't seen that, or you don't have as much drawing under your belt, and figuring out where to start is always a good, because that's a practice. And that's why the more you do, the better you get. So let's add those ears. Really, if we kind of broke them down, they would be this one's much more triangular. It kind of looks like a heart a little bit where it comes in there. So let's add that off to the side. So it comes down a little bit from where the horn is and comes in about where the eye is. So let's think of it more as a heart, because that's a little more organic than a triangle. Let's kind of put it right there. So we come from there to there. And I would go along on the inside, give it a little bit of an ear flap. Oh, Talia thinks they look like Baby Yoda ears. What do y'all think? So we've got an ear there. They do kind of look like baby. I wonder if Baby Yoda has giraffe ears. A giraffe has Baby Yoda ears, is what she said. Let's do the same thing over here. It's a little bit flatter out. Let's come out. And let's give it about the same. It's coming in about by the eye and about the same length down from the horn. So, and we're going to give it a little bit of a detail. Can they see that in the camera? Do I need to hold that closer, Keaton? Can you see it okay? Everyone's good? Okay, guys. We really have basically drawn the head. Now, if you have the circle, you can erase it. I'm in permanent marker, so I can't. I'm just going to paint right over it. What? Everyone, Talia is so happy right now. You are making her day because everyone is agreeing that the giraffe has Baby Yoda ears. And if you haven't figured out, whoops, Talia loves Baby Yoda. Okay, so if we've got our giraffe with apparently Baby Yoda ears, and it's all coming out, we've got the mouth, we've got the eyes, we've got the nose, we're going to draw that neck. Now, I want you to look. This neck comes around, and it's starting here, so underneath this ear, and it's coming way over, and if we came down, actually, if I have a ruler, I'll show you. So if we came down, we're coming out a little past where our circle is. So we're coming over here, and we're going to come way out here. So you're moving in that same direction, moving with that. And then this one's going to come all the way to the bottom, but this one's going to come across and create the back. And it's just going to be the bottom of your paper. You can just have the giraffe neck if you run off. You can put more of the body if you'd like. But I'm just going to come up to underneath that ear, where that edge of that circle was, and I'm just going to put a big long line right there. And I'm going to stop because I'm going to put that body in there. And then I'm coming in underneath about where our nose is, and we're going to go all the way to the end. So it's almost, see that big swoopy line all the way to the bottom. And then we're just going to bring this across. Just continue that line curve. So, just to make sure everybody's good, we're just going to review real quickly what we've done so everyone can get caught up, and then we're going to start putting our shapes in. So, we did a circle over here just to find where that head was. Then we made sure we looked at the shapes going around, because it fits in a circle, but it's not actually a circle. So we need to use our eyes to observe and watch those lines come around. So we adjusted the shape of the head. We adjusted the shape here. We adjusted the chin line. We had put our circle in towards here for our nose. And then we added our smiley face and our little bit of our nose that comes in. We put our eyes in with long eyelashes. Then we found our horns at the top, kind of across that shape. Then we did our ears, which are now Talia's favorite. And we put a little outline. And the ears kind of had a heart-shaped feeling as though we laid it on its side. So it gave us this point here and moved in with the head. A point here and moved in with the head. Right there. And then we took underneath the chin and underneath the ear, we came down with a long swoopy line, and came across the back. So, let's start getting some shapes in. Now here's the great part. This is all you. This is however you want to do it. So we know giraffe shapes are a little more, they're not circular, they're not stripy. They're not necessarily cheetah prints and organic. They have kind of a more blocky, square type shape. But they're not exactly blocky. They're all different types of shapes. So here we have lines and triangles and all sorts of shapes like that. So I want you to kind of fill in. I'll get you started. We're just going to put a simple shape for the cheek. So I'm just going to put kind of a square in right there. And she does have a few stripes right in there. I think it's just to represent maybe folds of the neck. So maybe I'll put a few stripes in here just to get that neck going. And now I want you just to fill this with shapes. So you just some of them go off. You can just make your own shapes. Kind of think of squares. Put some in the middle. Have some go off the side. Kind of triangular ones in there. Any way you want your shapes to go. We're going to fill that giraffe with shapes. And again, you're on your watercolor paper or your heavy paper or whatever paper you have at home. And you're using your pencil right now. And I'm just going to fill that whole giraffe in with...
Would you like another lion fact? Or giraffe fact?
Oh, I would like another giraffe. Talia's going to share a giraffe fact with me.
This is from someone watching.
Yes. Oh, this is an artist that's watching.
Darcy.
Okay. Darcy.
Did you know that giraffes have a kick powerful enough to crush a lion's skull?
Wow. Did you know that giraffes have a kick powerful enough to crush a lion's skull? Hey, you know what that means. Don't mess with a giraffe. Okay, so finish filling in your shapes. Thank you, Darcy, for that. Okay, and we're just going to find it. So these can look however you want. That's the neat thing. When we look at her giraffe, you can tell it's whimsical, which means it's not... Yesterday, we did Gustave Courbet, who was so focused on everything looking real. Remember? He's the father of realism. He wants it to look like real life. Don't just make it up. Look at it. And then we jump here to an artist working today who says, I want to be happy. I want to look at fun, beautiful colors and shapes. So that just shows you how far art comes from one end to another, and you can love all of it. So, speaking of fun, colorful shapes, let's start painting. Get your crayons. We're going to grab those first. Tate is pumped. Here we go. You want to say hi to everyone, Tate? Are you quiet today? Quiet. Do you have any giraffe facts for us? No giraffe facts?
Can you put spots on the ears?
Oh, you can put spots anywhere you want to. So wait. Don't use a brush yet. Somebody's going to name their giraffe. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put in our resist. So I want you to grab a crayon, any color, and let's say she has a red spot here. Instead of doing the black outline, we're going to do a resist outline. So mine are going to look black because I used the permanent marker so you can see it on screen. But I'm going to decide this is going to be a red. So wherever I use that resist, I'm going to outline that shape in red. And I'm going to press pretty hard. But I'm just going to worry about my outline. You can add some color in if you want. We're going to go over that with watercolor.
Kara would like to supply another giraffe fact.
Oh, Kara? Kara has another giraffe fact. Ooh, I love this. It's like a fun show.
A giraffe's tongue is so long that they can lick the inside of their ear.
Well, that was a very appropriate fact. So, she said a giraffe's tongue is so long it can lick the inside of their Yoda ear. I mean, I don't think it said Yoda, but we're going to say that for class. So, let's get back to our artwork. So, let's see if we're going to pick any others that are going to be red. So, Tate used orange, so I might make this one red. Any ones you want to make, the color crayon you have, outline those spots right now. So, we're creating a color guide. The harder you press, the more resist you'll get. Now, this can look very elementary or much more adult, depending on whose hand is going. If you want to shade in with your crayon, don't shade the whole square. Shade in just parts and then watch to see how the watercolor plays. So, you can do that a little bit. You don't have to, but you can. And again, the more wax you put in, the more resist will happen. So, Tate wants to shade in a little bit. So I think those are going to be my red. And you don't have to come in the red with red, but something in a warm color palette will look the best. Okay? And then I'm going to go to another color, and we're going to do this and keep switching colors to get all our spots colored in. So we're doing an outline, so I'm going to come along with our crayon or your oil pastels if you have those.
Water pastel.
If you have watercolor pencils, they don't really work. Colored pencils will act as a resist, but not as well as crayons. So colored pencils will do have wax in them. Remember, we were breaking that down with the alcohol to get the pigment. They just don't have as much as oil pastels or crayons would. So we're going to come around. I'm going to come in and yep. We're just going to, we have to do all our spots. Come in with a colorful. Okay, I'm going to switch to another color. How about some yellow? Put some yellow in. I mean, giraffes are cool enough, the colors that they are. Orange and yellow and brown spots. Oops, maybe I don't want to go right there.
Giraffes are like us in quarantine. They have to spend most of their time eating.
So Talia is reading me some of the comments that she's.
This is my own giraffe.
Oh, this is Talia's comment. She said giraffes are like us while we're in quarantine. They're spending most of their time eating. So, okay, we're going to come along. I've basically covered my primary colors, so let me drop in a few others. I'm going to go with some green. I like your green over there, Tate. How are your spots coming along? It's okay. If it broke, you know what that was good with crayons? You don't have to sharpen them. You just peel the wrapper back. But you can sharpen crayons if you want. Just don't do it in an electric pencil sharpener because it'll block it up. Okay, how about a pink? I don't want too many greens. I like this pink right here. It's kind of a purpley pink. Okay, I'll put some of this up here. How are you doing, Tate? Oh, did it jump over to the side? There you go. Yeah, we're trying to press hard with our colored pencil, with our crayons, so we're getting lots of color in there, just to help with our resist. I'll do this one down here. Okay. Here, this one's a pretty color. Try that one. I'm going to take your orange because I want to use orange. You can put spots anywhere you want to on your giraffe.
Would you like some more Giraffe Facts?
Oh, we are having, this class is full of them. Okay, I love it. I love it. More Giraffe Facts.
Melanie says, Landry, sorry, says baby giraffes can run an hour after they are born.
Okay, who says this? Landry says baby giraffes can run an hour after they are born. Wow, I did not know this many things about giraffes. This is really cool. Oh, we have one more fact.
And Lindsay says the reason their tongue is so long is because they probably don't have the sharpest teeth to bite leaves. They wrap their tongue around the leaf and pull them.
Ah, we found out the reason their tongue is so long is because they can pull the leaves down because they don't have the best teeth for chewing. So, but I do want to bring up a point. Here we are on this crazy rainy Tuesday afternoon. You can keep coloring all yours. They're going to keep coloring theirs. Here, keep coloring yours because Mommy can talk all day. So, we're like a little loopy today. You may be too. We've been stir crazy. And so it's one of those things that we gather today. And when you start doing art, it makes you curious about other things. So we find out facts about giraffes, or maybe you start drawing a flower and you discover what name it is, or we start learning about an artist. And each day, so art ties all these things together and helps you learn about life. So you want to keep coloring in some of yours? Maybe, do you mind if I come over here? Can I color in this big one right here? This is a great job. Can you get these two for me? Right there, and then we're going to start painting our giraffe. Okay. There, while he gets those. So I'll let you finish continuing. Now it looks very coloring book-ish at this point right now. And there's nothing wrong, I'll hold it. There's nothing wrong if it does. And it could continue like that. But let's take it up a notch with our watercolors. So Tate's going to finish his last two right there. And I'll let you finish a few right there. And let's get ready to paint in our giraffe. Okay, you got it? Let's go. So we're going to come to our watercolors. And if we notice, this is going to be a great color for us to use today, Tate. If we notice, most of the giraffe is that orangey kind of orange giraffe color. So let's go ahead and block that in. We've got a little gray right in here and in our ears, but really we can come back over that. So I'm going to drop that orangey color all around. What I'm not going to paint are these squares, and that resist is going to help keep some of that paint out of there. So
Aaron says the giraffes only sleep about 40 minutes a day and only 3 to 5 minutes at a time.
Wow. So they take like 40, giraffes take about 45-minute naps a day. How about that? Okay, so we're just going to paint in. We're just going to paint in the whole face here. We'll come back in with a little bit and I'll show you how to do that gray. If you don't have all your squares colored in, you can still join us on this part and then you can finish your squares as we go. So we're going to paint in those ears. Tate, you might add a little bit more water on there, honey. And let me give you a little bit bigger brush because you're painting up on the wall. You want to take Mommy's brush? Or you like that one? So here, go ahead. So this is a good example because when your watercolor is this opaque, that's great if that's what you're trying to achieve. If not, you want to add a lot more water and it's going to spread a lot further. So there's extra water for you. I like your color a lot. I'm going to add a little bit of your color into mine. So I'm just going to paint all around. I'm going to get into the head and now I'm going to get into the ears. Right here. I'm just going to fill them in.
8-year-old Jonathan says giraffes can grow up to 13 feet tall.
Giraffes can grow up to 13 feet tall, Jonathan says.
Great in the NBA.
Oh, they would be great in the NBA. We have a whole NBA of giraffes, but would that be the NGA, the National Giraffe Association? I hope you needed a smile today because we're having fun. So, now notice I'm painting in between all the squares. We're going to get that filled in there. We're going to paint in between those. And our resist is helping us keep in those lines. Good job. Oops. Are you itchy? Oh, he's being a giraffe. I see. Oh, your eye is itchy. Okay. Okay. Oh, I like your color on there. Do you want to use some of my color here? Okay. So we're just going to color it in. Can I use some of yours? I like your color. Your color has a little bit of brown in it. There. Oh, yeah, that'll show up on camera nicely.
It's perfect that everyone is making their own giraffe spots because Shaya says giraffe spots are as unique as fingerprints.
Oh! So, if I know you can't hear that because I'm on the microphone, but who said that? That was a wonderful comment. Shaya? Shay? We think Shay? Great comment. She said it's perfect. Everyone's making their own giraffe spots because that's actually true to life. The giraffe spots are similar to like a fingerprint. They're individual to each giraffe. So, okay. So you're going to fill in between your spots. I liked your color. I'm going to steal a little bit more. That way you can see it a little bit better. It's a little bit darker. Yes, it looks fantastic. Tate, can you step back a little bit? Yep. Can they see it? There they go. Okay, so your idea, I've got a little yellow rolling down. Your idea is that you get all that yellow in there, or orange, or wherever direction you're headed. I'll add a little bit of orange in. Maybe you can see mine a little bit better. yellow, orange, or if your giraffe is blue. Your giraffe can be any color you want it to be. Okay. So I'm going to let that settle. Now, I'm not painting on watercolor paper, so sometimes you'll notice mine will wrinkle because these are my display boards for you. Do you want to pull that over? Oh, are you getting your black? He's making sure he didn't miss his details. So this should be light enough you could still see your details right there. And we can come back in and add those. But what we want to do is kind of just make sure we're blocking out all this space in between. You can make it more orange, you can make it more yellow, you can make it blue and purple, whatever color you would like to make it. But we're going to fill that in. Now, one thing you can find, because this mutes a lot, we've got a little bit lighter color up here and a little bit darker. The way you can achieve that is as you get to the bottom, you could add a second layer of watercolor. You could add a little bit less water and make it a little more opaque and a little more transparent up there. You could also paint with a little bit lighter color, so a yellow down here, and then as you get down here, make this color darker, like so. Let me grab a darker orange right here. So I could come in and just paint a darker color and just ease it up into that other color as we go. So you can have that transition from darker to lighter. So I'm going to let the watercolor dry a little bit on the face, and you can always come back in and add more. And then we're going to fill in our spots. And our spots are pretty much going to go as we think they should go. So if I have kind of a pinky purple, I'm going to come on over here. This is about as pinky purple. Oh, this one's a good pinky purple. I'm going to come in and I'm just going to paint that pinky purple. And I want you to watch what happens. It's probably hard for you to see on screen, but you can see it on your own paper. When you paint, if you colored a little bit into it, or if the watercolor gets on top of the crayon, you'll see it bubble up a little bit. It'll make little water spots because it doesn't stick to the wax. So what happens is you can pull some of that off and move it around into there, or you can let it sit on top and it will end up just drying and not adhering. But you get, with that watercolor crayon outline, you get a very sophisticated little adjustment. Oh, did my mic? Oh, I think my little thing popped off. Oh, my mic popped off. I was getting so excited about giraffes.
Giraffes can break a speed limit. Can you guess which one?
Giraffes can break a speed limit. Can I guess which one? How fast can giraffes run?
Up to 37 miles an hour.
37 miles an hour. Wow. Here, let me see. Can you hear my microphone okay? Let me put my little thing back on. Just getting so excited about giraffes. I'm not sure I can get it all the way on, but there is nothing like a live show. It's just real life, guys. This is how we all live. Okay, so let's fill in some more spots, and let's watch how that just subtly moves and how we get to see how that crayon plays in. So I'm going with a similar color. And remember, you can mix watercolors. So a lot of watercolor palettes, here's a student one that we use, come with a lid like this. That's perfect for mixing. You just take one color and you put it in, and then you might grab another color. So right here, and you can just mix those together. The nice thing about this, so if most of the watercolor sets come, the lid is actually meant to be a palette. And so I have to hold it because it's about to fall. But I don't even have to wash this out. I can just leave it and let it dry. And it's always, the next time I open it up, if I want to use that same color, I just activate it with water. Do you want to use that color? Excellent. Tate's going to work on mixing a few colors there. So, okay. I'm going to fill in all my spots where I have that color, and then I'm going to switch to my next color. And we're going to work around filling in all our spots that way. But you should see some variation between where you put the crayon and then where the watercolor goes. So, let's see. You have a good green over there. Put a green in here. I don't think it's showing up on camera, but I know it's showing up on your own palette, that when you put it in and it moves around that edge that we did. Now we've got some blue. Let's put that in. And I'm just going to fill mine in, and I want you to continue to do the same. And we're letting this rest just a little bit because we're going to come back in. So. Oh, Tate, I like yours. Okay, good job, guys. I can't wait to see some of your work from home. Thank you for sending it to me. Oh my goodness, your apples yesterday. Fabulous. People were saying, I was blown away. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. And just let me know if it's okay to post. You can email those to makepaducah@yahoo.com. And feel free to send pictures of you, where you're creating, your artwork. People have really said when they can see how other people are making art at their homes, and right now just really loving it, and not having really special materials, just using what you have, and using your kitchen table, using a card table, using a patio. I had pictures from Romania. I had pictures from New Zealand yesterday. I had pictures from all across the U.S. and Canada. Everyone is just gathered together and finding happiness by creating art. And thank you for sharing. That's wonderful. Okay, let's keep making some happy. I've got some red. Do you have red on yours, Tate? I'm going to add a little bit more. How are you doing on yours? Okay. I'm about to get to my yellow, and then don't worry, do not rush. Take your time, do it however you want, but I'm going to go on and once I get my yellow in, kind of walk you through, because this one will be a fun one to kind of play with throughout the day. You might continue to work on this after we end class, which I know a lot of you do, because we kind of get started, and I like to get you rolling, and then I like to give you as much time to work on these at home, and because some people might finish real quickly, some people like to take their time and develop it. But right now we've got the background in, we've got our faces that you drew and did such a good job. We're working on our spots. Tate's over here filling his colorful spots in, and he's mixing his paint. Love that. So let's talk a little bit about this gray. So it's a blue-gray. Normally on watercolor, we would leave that paper white, so we didn't have this undertone right here. But because we're so colorful, I'm not that worried about having that pure gray or that pure blue. So I'm going to come in to make gray out of watercolor. If you don't have a gray color, it's pretty simple. You just really thin your black down. Some watercolor sets will come with a white. White is typically not traditional to watercolor. You wouldn't have had white because the white would have been your paper. But you can add a little bit of white to that black. If you do that, it makes it more like a medium called gouache. It makes it a little more opaque because that white has some opacity to it. So you can still do it and it'll work just fine, but tend to thin the black down a little more to get that gray. This also has a little bit of blue in it, so you could also start with thinning a blue down. But let's look at, I'm going to get a little gray here. Let's look at this ear. So it keeps, right here, it keeps the outline in and puts a little gray in at the top. So I'm going to come along there. And if you'll notice, it kind of shades it. It will give you that shading detail as I push it out a little bit. Okay. So I'm going to come in and we're going to shade the inside. There's a little bit of dark in the middle that you can just make a wisp with your brush, however you like to do it. Okay. And we're going to come over and do the same thing over here. Oops, I'm on a vertical paper. So I tend to paint all my watercolors flat because for displays you can see what happens when you've got the black coming through. So let's add in a little bit around the nose right here. I put more blue in there. And that's just going to kind of set it off. Come up, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to highlight my eyes and darken those in and the nostril. I'm just going to do this with the black. I'll make sure those are easy to be seen. And maybe add some tips right there. Come a little bit more. And just play with this one and we'll keep on going. Now, what I really like about Anna's work is that she has a lot of splatter on here. So, I'm sorry, Mom and Dad, but I am going to do a little splatter on mine for a finishing touch because I think that's fun. If you remember, we talked a little bit about splattering, and please be careful. Don't do this. Maybe take your piece outside if you want to do this, but I'm going to take in a little color and I'm going to show you how to add it to your artwork. Because this is so colorful, this is an easy way to do it. I'm going to tap it on the surface just like this. So, did I get you? That's fun. So, do you need to do it on yours? Tastes like I'm ready to go. I didn't know I was going to get to splatter. But what I do is I just take a few of the colors of your spots and splatter them around a little bit, if that's okay. And you can even do the yellow right on top. You want to do the yellow? If you want a finer splatter, remember that the way we splatter is we take the tip of the brush and we fling it that way. Did it get on you? Yep. Oh, Tate's all over the splatter. So you can do the tip and get that finer splatter, which will give you more control. So that will keep you entertained for hours. Just that. So that pretty much brings us back to it. If you want to go back in and really create Anna's hard outline, you can come back in when your piece is completely dry and use a black marker, use some of your watercolor, and really pop some of those lines and make that happen. It also has a few whiskers here. Oh, let me add those real quickly just because whiskers are fun. I was trying to see, I could just keep on doing this forever. So let's give the giraffe a few whiskers. I didn't know giraffes had whiskers, but apparently they do. So, I hope you have had fun with this one. This has been such a fun lesson to do. It's hard to not smile when you're painting a bright rainbow colored giraffe. It's hard to not learn about a fun young artist that's working today and not be inspired by her work. And overall, I mean, we're making art. It's a good day. So, you like that one? I do too. Well, I think we're going to sign off and we're going to let you splatter and spot and have a great time and enjoy this. Tomorrow is such a fun lesson. It's a little messy. I'm just going to warn you ahead of time, so make sure you blot out the area. But it is a lesson. It does not matter. If you are 75, you will love this lesson. If you are 2 years old, you will love this lesson. It really is a lot of fun. We're going to use the idea of folding zines, but we're going to marbleize our paper first and create basically mini marbleized journals tomorrow. So little mini books. It's the marbleizing with the shaving cream. It's so much fun. Okay, we'll see y'all tomorrow. We have had a great day today. Art is man's nature. Nature is God's art. We'll see you on Wednesday. Bye, guys.